Have you ever wondered if there's like a secret rule book for cybersecurity? Well, there is. And today we're going to unpack a document that quietly shapes our entire digital world, telling governments and huge companies exactly how to protect our information. Let's dive right in. So let's start with why this even matters. This quote just hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly captures the struggle at the heart of our modern lives. We have all these incredible new technologies, but they also bring these massive, unprecedented risks to our privacy and our security. And that struggle, it creates a huge problem. Every new app, every smart device we connect to the internet, it just adds another layer of complexity. So the big question becomes, how in the world do we build our digital lives on a foundation that's actually stable, secure, and something we can trust? Clearly, just crossing our fingers and hoping for the best is not a strategy. We absolutely need a plan. We need a common language for security, a master blueprint for building digital safety into the very code of our technology. And guess what? That blueprint actually exists. It's not some top secret document, but it is incredibly dense. So let's pull back the curtain and get a good look at it. Here it is. It's called NIST Special Publication 800-53. Or if you want the full formal title, it's Security and Privacy Controls for Information Systems and Organizations. What that really means is it's a massive, and I mean massive, catalog of all the best practices for cybersecurity. At its very core, you can think of it as the ultimate security and privacy playbook. It gives organizations a really structured set of rules, and in this world, they call them controls, for how to manage risk and protect information when they're building and running their systems. Now, what's really fascinating is who actually put this thing together. This wasn't the work of some small group in a back room. No way. This was a huge collaboration, led by NIST, bringing together the civil government, the Department of Defense, and the intelligence community, plus hundreds of experts from the private sector. It is a true meeting of the minds. And the result of all that collaboration? A seriously comprehensive document. The latest version clocks in at a whopping 492 pages. Now, that number might sound a little intimidating, but that complexity is actually its greatest strength. It has to cover pretty much every angle you can think of. So how do you even start to make sense of all that? Well, the best way is to zoom way in. Let's break down the basic building block of this entire framework, a single security control. You know exactly what I'm talking about. We've all been there. You step away from your computer for a few minutes to grab a coffee, you come back, and your online banking session is just over. That's not a glitch, my friend. That is a security control in action. And this is it. This is the actual rule. It's known as AC-12, and it requires systems to automatically end a session after a period of inactivity. And you see that part in the brackets? That's where the magic happens. That's where an organization gets to customize the rule and decide exactly how long that period is. It's such a simple idea, but it has a really powerful security impact. And every single control in this entire playbook is structured with this incredible level of detail. You've got the base rule itself, then a discussion explaining why it's important, then optional enhancements to make it even tougher, and finally references if you want to dig even deeper. It's a complete package for every single rule. But here's the thing. This playbook isn't rigid. You can't just slap 492 pages of rules onto every single situation. Its real power is actually in its flexibility. Let's take a look at how that works. I mean, think about it. No two organizations are the same, right? A public website for a local library has totally different risks than a top secret database for an intelligence agency. That's why organizations use a process called tailoring to pick and choose and adapt the controls that are actually relevant to what they do and the risks they face. And a huge part of this tailoring process is understanding that there are different types of controls. Let's use an analogy. Think of security for a big office building. Common controls are like the main lock on the front door. Everyone in the building benefits from it. But system-specific controls, that's like the lock on your individual office door. It's your team's responsibility. Dividing it up like this makes security manageable, even at a massive scale. Okay, so we've seen what this thing is and how it works. Now, let's zoom back out to the big picture. Why does this one document have such a massive ripple effect across our entire digital world? Well, while it's mandatory for all U.S. federal agencies, its influence goes way, way beyond the government. The private sector, we're talking finance, healthcare, the energy grid, they've all pretty much adopted this as the gold standard. That means your bank, your hospital, and the companies that keep the lights on are all using ideas from this playbook to protect your data. And really, this is what it all boils down to. This playbook creates a common language, a shared standard for what it actually means to be secure. It gives us a methodical, risk-based way to build incredibly complex systems with a level of confidence we can actually measure. It is the very foundation of digital trust. Which, of course, leaves us with one final, really important question. Cybersecurity is a moving target, right? The threats we face today aren't the threats we're going to face tomorrow. So how can a static document possibly keep up? The answer is, it doesn't stay static. There's a reason this is called Revision 5. The playbook is a living document, constantly being updated by that same community of experts to meet new challenges. It ensures that our blueprint for digital trust is always adapting to protect us, both now and into the future.